this place is haunted. I don't mean it in a kind of spooky way, but if you come in here 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, roughly about where the bear is, there was a lady called Sheila Ramage. And this was a shed. This wasn't a gallery, it was a shed. Not so much a shop, more of a shed. And there was Sheila, surrounded by piles of books, and really the only things keeping the walls up were the books on their shelves. Take the books away, the walls would have collapsed. Mind you, you were encouraged to buy. And around Sheila there'd be some people, and they'd be chatting in a kind of bookish, gossipy way, and you'd find yourself joining in the conversation. You know, nobody knew who you were. And then one of them would leave and Sheila would say, "Bye, David," and Jesus, you've just been talking to David Attenborough. Sheila knew everybody, the living and the dead. Sheila came, she told me, originally from the West Country, somewhere in Devon, and she came up to London for a job. Not any old job. She was typing up manuscripts for the writer Alexander Trocky. And soon after she arrived in London, she found herself in this room with a little typewriter, and there were all these kind of weird kind of characters around the walls of the room, a bit like now really. And some of them were shooting up, and Sheila thought to herself, "I've arrived." And she stayed here. She ran this as a bookshop for 40 odd years, 44, 45, I'm not sure which. She was very welcoming. Not everybody. There was the day when Michael Horowitz came in with a load of review copies he wanted to sell, and Sheila said, "No, we can't take that, we got 2 copies already." And no, who's going to buy that, Michael? And Horowitz said, "Sheila, that is censorship. You can't say no to a book. Socrates said so." And Sheila said, "Fuck Socrates." And banned Michael from the shop. Though I don't think it was really very effective. She was welcoming, but she did have standards. And after she had her stroke and was in care homes, and I used to go on Sunday afternoons and read aloud to her, we were very particular, both of us were, about which books worked for reading aloud. And I think this is actually quite a test of a book. If you can read it aloud to somebody, and you enjoy reading it aloud, and they enjoy listening, that's a good book. Now, winter of 2019, 2020, we were reading Graham Swift's Mothering Sunday. Short books are very good for reading aloud. And we got to a passage about halfway through the book when Jane, who is a servant girl in the big house, after having spent the whole of Sunday morning in bed with her lover, who is the young master, and he has to go because he has a lunch appointment with his fiancée. And he said, "Don't go to Jane. There's nobody else in this house. It's empty. Because it's Mothering Sunday and all the servants have been sent away, given a day off to spend the time with their families." And Jane Fairchild, the servant girl, walks through the big house completely naked. It's an extraordinary scene. It's a scene about happiness. There you go. And then about a week later, because I was looking forward to picking up the next Sunday, Sheila died. She was taken into hospital, got sepsis there and died. This was just before the outbreak of COVID. Thank God she was there. And for a little while I was a little bit annoyed with Sheila. Why couldn't we finish the book before you died? And then I thought, actually no. We've reached this magical chapter in the middle of a book. And it's all about happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.